Hello, and welcome to iGaming Accent. This is me, Vakho, your host, and this is the show brought to you by SBC Eurasia. And today I'm joined by one and only Maxim Afanasev, who is now director at Sportradar, and we will try to dive into his backstory, what he's doing right now, what is iGaming, let's say, view right now, where are we in the timeline, how our industry is evolving, and so on and so on. So, Maxim, how are you feeling today?
Hey, feeling good. And it's an honor for me not just to be at your podcast, but to be first guest. In
Yeah.
Russia, we say that the first pancake is never good, but hopefully, yeah, we'll make it fun and good enough for people to watch.
Maxim, I hope that we will break that saying today, and this will be one of the most awesome podcasts as a launch. So I know you. We went one time, and I know lots of good things about the Sportradar. It's been growing for last years, like exponentially to new markets, to new products, buying out everything there is. So I just really want to know how you got into this playground. What was the first when you came by iGaming, how you grown, and a little bit about your role and your daily job, let's say like that, in Sportradar.
Well, for me, I would say if you guys or somebody believes in a destiny, then probably my destiny was to end up in the gambling industry. Back in 2009, I was studying at City University in London, and as a student, I was searching for a part-time job, and I ended up being a waiter. And then just one night, I was serving at a person who turned out to be an area manager for Coral. I don't know if somebody remembers this betting brand. Now it's a bigger venture these days. And I guess the person just liked the way I served and took care. And I got offered a position at the betting shop next door. Never actually thought of entering this industry, but just happened so that I ended up working part-time as a cashier. And then later, when I finished my studies, I was kind of in a limbo, thinking whether I should stay and find a job in London or in the UK or go back to Russia. And eventually I didn't find a good spot in the UK and decided to go back. Funny enough, I was back in 2010, I was interviewed by one of the Sportradar positions. Didn't get the job. Yeah.
They regretted it later, but fixed the problem, right?
Yeah, but 11 years later, yeah, I finally got a job at the company. The company is great, and I really enjoy working here.
Okay, the fate is there, and I think that being at the right time, in the right moment, and with the right people, that open up too many doors. And from my personal experience, like when I was like 18, 19, I started playing poker, and that became like my gateway to this profession, even though that I would never think that I would be working in iGaming. But still, like being there, knowing all the players, knowing all the operators who were there, and like being in the tournaments which was organized by the big brands. And later people notice you because you play good poker. Maybe you do some good on the operational side as well. And that was like my getaway to it. And the good thing is that industry is growing like exponentially and too fast, and we are here in order to like drive this growth within both of our companies, and that is good. Regarding the Sportradar, so just tell me what are your duties there, and how is the company? I know that this is big brand, big company, and what you do.
I think well, Sportradar is mainly known as the supplier of data, and this is one of the stereotypes that we're trying to get rid of. I mean, obviously, we do data as a company. It's a big part of our business because data is the foundation of pretty much everything that we do. But the big thing is that the company is there since 2001, so we've been in the market for now over 20 years, and there's a lot of services that we managed to build on top of this data layer and around the whole sports ecosystem. So today we offer managed trading services and platforms and streaming and marketing services with our own proprietary tech, and we also do a lot of on the side of entertainment, different widgets and streaming. I believe currently have the biggest streaming portfolio in the whole world. So if you're an operator and you want to offer, if you want to cover games with live streams and make this journey for your customers more engaging, then you'll probably end up working with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and what is the X factor that you bring to the table? I'm still trying to dig into that.
Yeah. So my role as Raider is specifically talking to the customer, understanding customers' needs. I'm coming from the operator's background, so it's pretty easy for me to understand and to evaluate and to actually break through this stereotype of Sportradar being just a data company, but explaining that we actually can do a lot more. We're not just data suppliers, but we can take care of pretty much all the aspects of operations, and depending on what basically my one of my goals is to understand companies' pain points and to see how we can tap in and offer a solution. And by the way, part of the job that we are doing and the team that I'm working with is not only offering the solutions that we have today, but also trying to tap in and understand, okay, what's going to be tomorrow? What do we need to bring into the market and so that it's going to be valuable for our customers tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? The new solutions.
Because from the things that I hear, that you are quite involved into the staying ahead of the curve and staying really competitive in this industry, and you bring that X factor as well. And I see that what new products, new offerings are coming from the Sportradar are really covering it. But I really want to know regarding your journey. As I know that you've been traveling around and you've been into many different geos and you've been in different cultures as well. And this also, I think, brings too much to the table for the different people, different teams to work together. And I think that is something that we have to tap in as well.
So my journey into the company was a bit unusual, I guess, because I joined the Sportradar for one specific project. I was leading a joint venture, and I was looking after a client's operations in 3 African countries, which is Uganda, Nigeria, and Kenya. I was based in Nairobi and lived there for 2 years, working closely with African teams, traveling around and trying to understand what and how we need to do right in order to make business successful.
Okay, so you've been living in Africa, right? If I understood it correctly.
Yes, I did spend almost 2 years in Kenya.
Oh my God! So how's Kenya? First question, because there are very, very different understandings and thoughts about what is the country around. Like some people think there are lions running around in the streets. And by the way, have you encountered one or have you fought one of the lions there?
Well, I should say that Kenya is definitely one of the most vibrant African countries. I recently published a video, kind of an episode, where I tried to explain how it is running gambling operations and business in Kenya. It's a beautiful country, first of all, and if you have not been there, I definitely recommend trying it out as a tourist. It's very well known for its wild nature and natural parks. But as well, it has a beautiful coast and nice resorts there. So you can combine 2 things. So living there was almost like a dream, to be honest. Enjoyed pretty much every day of my life there. Yes, and they do have lions. I think Nairobi is the only capital that actually features a big natural park. It's actually kind of a part of the city. So there is a chance, yes, of meeting a lion. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes, yes, they don't get enough food in their reserves, and they go around. I mean, it's rare, but it can happen. So.
So I should bring a rifle with me, or I should leave my rifle at home. So I think that I have to leave it, right?
Yeah. No rifles allowed. No.
No rifles around. Okay. Regarding the culture there, so you worked in international cultures because like Sportradar was launching something in Kenya, and that was like a big differentiator from my point of view. What was the culture differentiation there, and what was the thing that like made you like an aha moment that we can combine these two and work it out?
Well, one of the things that I think I learned when dealing with operations in Africa is that I think first of all, you should not think of Africa as one big continent. It is so different depending on where you go. West Coast, East Coast, Northern Africa. Some people don't even consider it to be Africa. Southern parts like South Africa or Namibia, Botswana is also very, very much different. So I think first of all, you need to take this into consideration. People are different there. They speak different languages. Even within one country, you get so many different tribes and dialects and cultures. And if you do want to win hearts of those people by bringing your product, then you definitely need to take this into consideration. And you don't have to be arrogant and thinking, oh, you know what, we're a big U.S. entity or European entity. We will come there and conquer. It doesn't work. So you need to come there, listen, and try to build a solution, a product, a service, depending on what you want to do, that will be accepted by locals, that something that they will like. Actually, I think building this notion of building a love brand works really well in Africa. But for that, you need to be there, and you really need to feel it with your skin.
The feeling with the skin is like a key factor there, because many companies, even like big ones that has like a great experience with entering new markets and conquering some of them, still make that mistake because they are like focusing on like a continent or a country, and they don't go deeper and they don't localize that much, and they are making the mistakes. But even though those mistakes can be later, let's say, fixed, if you focus on the first day one, you will be much better, let's say, situation, rather than going there, making the mistakes, like hitting fighting the uphill battle, and later trying to change everything, and so on and so on. Okay. That's great. Maxim, I just want to have your opinion regarding like a horizontal or like a helicopter view of where is our industry right now. So where we are heading, what are the upcoming trends, and what should we touch upon regarding them?
Well, first of all, I think we can admit the industry is pretty big. Though I was recently also making a post about the size of the publicly listed company. I tried to make a research on how big would, if you take all the publicly listed company in the gambling sector, I counted 69 so far. And I tried to come up with the market, like I took the market cap of all those 69, and I think the result was something around 320 billion US dollars, which puts kind of this super gambling enterprise. I kind of put a name on it, like say Berkshire Hathaways, like Berkshire Hathaways. And so if you think about this super enterprise, it's worth around $320 billion, which puts this in line with LVMH or SAP, just to give an understanding. I mean, although you can think of the industry it's so big. Actually, when you put numbers into it, I think there is still big potential to grow. First of all, we're seeing more and more countries being regulated, and I think everyone is expecting certain jurisdictions to finally be regulated. India, Japan. Actually, I think generally Asia has so much potential. I mean, we've seen what happened with the US after the regulation. For the last 2 years, everyone was very obsessed with Brazil. So definitely right regulation helps. And these are the obvious things that are happening in the industry. On the other side, I think technology is another big thing that should shape our industry. I kind of feel that we got a little bit stuck in the old school style of gambling, and I'm pretty sure we will see the evolution here, or maybe even the revolution here, of how the product will change. I think the industry needs to switch from this classical, I need to go to this app, to this website, place a bet. It's probably gonna transition into some sort of a ecosystem. It's basically actually just a service, right? If somebody wants to place a bet, that's a demand, and I'm not sure that you actually need to be tied to a certain app to do that. I would rather believe that at some point of time it will be part of some ecosystem. I mean, these things actually are being now explored with the crypto, and Team Hit and YOLO Group talks about it quite often. How they, this betting experience, this gambling experience, can be part of your wallet and crypto, like attached to your wallet. I don't think that's exactly how it's going to look like, but I think the direction is very much right.
I can see, I can like reference that as well, because I've seen like OTT platforms turning into betting and adding betting as an extension of their product and building up the ecosystem behind the big brand that love marks that you just mentioned today, and they are transitioning all those customers into their own betting websites. And I think there were quite a big moves from even ESPN in America. We were just discussing that ESPN Bet made a really big move by buying the Pinnacle, if I'm not mistaken, there, and like grasping all the attention that they already had on their website with all the streaming, with all the gamification, like the predictor games and so on, and transferred all those attention to ESPN Bet. And let's see how that works out. But building the ecosystem regarding it and having the whole journey of the customer's code within your system is a really, really big and nice way to go forward, because it reduces the cost of acquisition, it reduces the even retention, because like those customers are coming back to watch the game with you, right? Or they are coming back to read your blogs about it or your post about it. So it creates a loop of the different attention grabbing things all together. So that's quite a big moves from the big companies. Also, I think that our industry has to shaken up a little bit, because we are like little bit stuck with the old ways, because it works, it makes money. Like there is money to be made with all the, like, let's say, right approaches. We have everything, like it works fine. We don't want to innovate, but industry should increase the competition within themselves. And also, I have met few people in the industry that are already looking beyond that, because we are not always competing with another betting company. We are competing for the user attention, we are competing for their involvement, for their engagement, and so we have to look forward and beyond the iGaming, beyond the gambling industry for attention grabbing. So that's pretty insightful. Also, I think that there should be a message that, Maxim, you want to leave to whoever is entering for into this industry? For example, like new people that are starting or are thinking of career change. What will be ups and downs and cons and pros into coming to work in this hyper competitive, very fast growing industry?
Okay. So the way I think about it is, we discussed earlier that the industry have grown massively. I mean, I mentioned the publicly listed company, but if you look at the industry as a whole, I think we're talking about almost a $600 billion industry today, worldwide. So, I mean, it is big. But what actually comes as a surprise to me is when you think of the talents and experts, I do believe that the industry is still relatively small, and I usually, it's quite normal. I hear this saying that, hey, this is a small world. Like, you meet people at the conferences that have been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 years, and it kind of feels that there's not much of a fresh blood. So I think, first of all, it is important that the industry attracts new talents and experts from other industries, and we're seeing it now. I think this is happening. Mm-hmm. There's quite a good now flow of new blood into our industry, and this is great. And when you think about those people, my message to them would be, well, first of all, I think it's important to try to understand how industry works. I also just recently came through another post on LinkedIn saying that it's incredible how many people in the industry don't really understand how the industry works, have never played a game, poker, whether it's a casino or betting, never placed a bet. So I think if you go into this industry, first of all, try to understand how it works through your own experience. Give it a try. Like, tap all the buttons on the website, place all kinds of bets, try to feel what people who are using these products, what do they feel, how their experience is. So put yourself in their shoes. That's number one. Give it some time. It's not going to happen immediately. I think for me, it took probably a couple of years before I finally started to understand how things work. But when you understand, you actually gonna see how exciting the industry is. So that's number one. And number two is, don't be afraid to bring in something new. If you're coming from, marketing, finance, and you've never done anything in gambling, but you're entering the market, try to bring innovations. Our industry, again, I think a lot of things are being done in very old school style. We're quite conservative, and it's always great when best practices from other industries, banking, are coming in and bringing into the table, because I think the industry has so big potential to change and to improve, and it only can happen through those people coming in and doing those changes. So don't be afraid, even if you come and have crazy ideas and everyone will say, hey, doesn't work in gambling, or nobody tried it before, give it a try. Go for it. Be bold and be brave enough.
I think when somebody tells you that nobody tried that before, that is what you have to try and see why will it work or not. And I can step back to the first thing is that from my personal experience, I was hiring people not because they were in a young age and they had no experience on hands-on, like in their profession. For example, I was leading a product marketing team within one of the operators, and I was hiring people just based on their interest in the product. So if the guy was living their lives like watching football and other sports, every time I would choose him or her rather than the guy that was expert in marketing, had all the experience, but have never opened one of the websites and have never watched the game and have never placed a bet. Because you can always teach them what to do professionally, but you can never teach them how to love football or how to love sports or how to love slots or how to play poker. And that is the passion from which we always grew the right professionals and set up them for the success. But the first thing coming to the industry, really try to understand what are the games, what are the gameplays, why people love it, why the gambling industry. Oh, your dog is passing. I was wondering, by the way, what was the pulse for, and I now see that those are these good doggies. Though, what's the name?
I actually have 4 dogs.
You have 4 dogs? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So I had, we're switching the topic, but
No
I guess
worries.
that's a little bit of my personal thing, right? So first of all, it comes from my wife, but she's like totally in love with dogs, and I also love dogs, and this is where we clicked together on this topic. So we had one dog that was adopted. We took him he was rescued. So, and we've had 2 dogs for quite a long time, but over the period of last 2 months, we have adopted 2 more dogs.
Oh,
one just came off, out of nowhere, just appeared on the road as we were driving. It was a small puppy, probably 1 month old, and we just say, it happened in like literally seconds. We just saw him. I stopped. I grabbed him, and then, well, he's yours now, right? So
yeah, it's a fate. Like, he was on the right place, right time, the dog, and he got into the loving family. So it was the fate as well.
Yeah, and another dog just came to our porch, like half dead, literally half dead. As a German Shepherd, beautiful dog.
Oh, I love German
I don't know how
Shepherds,
he's
mate.
probably 5 or 6 years old, so he's not like a puppy. Has multiple wounds, and he was literally like half the way that he has to be. You could take him and lift him up easily. But now he's good. After almost 2 months, he's good. He's happy. He found his home. So yeah, and we have 4 dogs now.
Which one is your favorite? I know that it is.
I mean, we love them. We love them all.
Okay. So one last thing that I want to make so the tradition, and I think that it will be funny. We don't know who will be our next guest on the podcast, but I want you to leave a question for him, and it's a blind question. You will not know who will be. Even I don't know who will be the next guest. But what would be your question to our next guest?
So I think that the way I want to put the question for the next guest is we are all here, of course, doing our duties. And I think it's very, very easy to just fall into your day-to-day operations and forget about innovation and things that you need to change. But it's very important, I think, to always bear in mind that, hey, you don't have to just do your basic stuff. You have to think about something next, like next big idea, next big market, next big product, or test, whatever. So I think what I want to ask, it probably is going to be a bit provocative. Like, what is the next big thing that you will try to do in order to change industry in the next year?
Oh, nice. And I will use a Uno reverse card before that. And what will you do in the next year to change the industry? I want to hear that from you as well.
Well, for me, it's easy because it took me a long time to actually start or to spin off my little project. It's a kind of a hobby thing that I launched just recently, a few weeks ago. It's called Right Bet. It's a content page. Well, it's a page dedicated to iGaming content. I personally believe that we as an industry are, again, getting back to the same thing, conservative and super intransparent. And I would love to see that we get more of exchange of information, exchange of knowledge between professionals, between companies, that we can openly tackle serious questions and serious issues, and not just put fancy decks and presentations, glossy presentations saying, hey, we have this great product, super innovations, AI, all of this. I think there's a lot of problems that the industry has, and we need to stand up, we need to grow up, and we need to be more transparent generally.
Yeah.
So I hope that with what I'm doing right now, again, it's a hobby thing. I'm doing it on the side. Just, I'm loving what I'm doing. Hopefully this will make a little bit of a difference in the industry.
let's see in 1 year where your hobby or in what your hobby will transfer to. I will be watching, I will be following. By the way, I
Thank you.
already follow that. And let's see that. Also, let's wrap it up today. Maxim, thank you for everything. Like, I think that this will be like coolest kickoff for the podcast. Thanks for being here. By the way, you look more like a host of the podcast rather than I am, but it's good. Thank you for sharing your insight, sharing your story, sharing about the Sportradar, about the emerging markets, and so on and so on. This was iGaming Accent, brought to you by SBC Eurasia. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and this will be a bi-weekly podcast. Thank you, and cheers.
Thank you.